Good afternoon. Serving as Kentucky's Attorney General is the honor of my lifetime. I think I find that type of passion in my work because when I come to work, I don't feel like I'm coming to do a job. I feel like I'm coming to serve a mission. And I know that's something that all of our veterans up here understand. My mission in the Attorney General's office is pretty simple. I believe that every Kentucky family ought to be able to live in a safe neighborhood and have a real path to prosperity. We go about serving that mission every day by facing 4 challenges that can impact any Kentucky family. Those are the prevention and prosecution of child abuse, better protecting our seniors against scams and abuse, seeking justice for victims of rape and sexual assault, and finding workable solutions to this drug epidemic which has devastated each and every one of our Kentucky communities. One very important part of this mission that was needed, especially in our state, is better protecting our seniors. When I came into office, the Attorney General's office was primarily focused on preventing physical abuse against seniors, and that is critical. And we continue to pursue that mission today. But what was missing was protection of our seniors from financial abuse. Consumer Reports estimates that last year, our seniors in the United States lost over $3 billion in scams alone. And if you broaden that to elder financial abuse, that number climbs to $37 billion. It is a large-scale criminal industry aimed at stealing from our seniors. This criminal enterprise continues to grow because the criminals see a growing market. The U.S. Census Bureau projects that by 2025, more than 62 million Americans will be older than age 65, and more than 7.4 million Americans will be older than 85. So every day across Kentucky, our seniors have their hard-earned retirement stolen out from under them. These criminals take more than money. They take that foundation that our seniors have saved to earn, to age with dignity, and leave them in those final years struggling. So on my first day as Kentucky's Attorney General, I created our first Office of Senior Protection. Shortly afterwards, we launched Kentucky's first continuous and comprehensive program to protect seniors against scams. This program, called Scam Alerts, has several parts. First, we created this state's first direct text, direct email scam warning system, so for the first time, we can send information on the trickiest or trending scams directly to our seniors, to our partners, to nerve centers all across Kentucky, so that we can be our brother and sister's keeper and protect each other from scams. We've signed up over 15,000 individuals to date to receive texts or emails, and we've got about another 10,000 Kentuckians that get them through different means, and that number climbs every week. To date, we've sent out more than 30 alerts on scams to subscribers, and it shows you the breadth of how these scams work. Scams such as the fake pharmacy scam, the jury duty scam, the IRS scam, the grandparent scam, the virtual kidnapping scam, and many utility scams, and they go on and on and on. Signing up for this alert system is easy. You can either text the phrase KYOAG space scam to the number GOV311 or go on our website at ag.ky.gov/scams. But we also set out on an ambitious agenda to educate our seniors all across Kentucky. We took scam alerts, scam protection information, and elder abuse education into communities across this state, meeting with seniors and families, caregivers, advocates, and community leaders so that they could be equipped with the type of information to protect their communities. And last year, we expanded this effort to our faith-based houses of worship, meeting seniors where they worship during the week and on the weekends. To date, we provided information and resources at over 150 events in 45 counties, allowing us to reach over 10,500 seniors, caregivers, and family members, and to give them the tools and the knowledge to prevent not only themselves from ever falling for scams, but also how to protect their friends and family members. I've personally attended over 80 of these events. When you're the Attorney General, you need to show up to protect those that you've promised to protect. We've also been able to reach so many people through amazing partnerships and collaboration, including with AARP, one of our original partners in Scam Alerts, with Kroger, the Kentucky Bankers Association, the NAACP, the Kentucky Council on Churches, the UK Cooperative Extensions, the Postal Service, and over 150 other partners. But there are more people that we need to reach. Our veterans are often the victims of thieves that specifically target them as veterans with scams tailored to appeal to them and their families. These scams also involve fraudulent charities where our veterans give thinking they are going to help other veterans only to have that money stolen. According to an AARP study, veterans are twice as likely to lose money to scams as non-veterans. Knowing that there are criminals out there specifically targeting our veterans is infuriating. That's why I'm joining forces with over 30 partner agencies to empower Kentucky veterans with the information and tools they need to protect themselves and their fellow veterans. This new effort of Scam Alerts, called Mission Veterans Protected, or MVP, will provide direct outreach to Kentucky veterans and military families. We have over 25 programs already scheduled for this initiative as we sit here, and we expect that to grow, if not double, throughout this year. Information specific to veterans will also be made available online and through other means, including at our webpage ag.ky.gov/veterans. It's time for us to protect the over 345,000 Kentucky veterans that protected us through their service. Our veterans stepped up at the times that we needed them, that provided us and this country the type of protection that we need. Now it's our duty, whether it's the Attorney General's office or these organizations, to make sure we do everything to protect them. Those that spent much of their lives in our military service ought to be able to age with dignity, and we ought to do everything we can to make sure that their life savings are never stolen from them. So working with AARP, the American Legion, the Kentucky chapter of the National Association for Black Veterans, the VFW of Kentucky, and many others, we will do just that. Through these efforts, my hope is that we make Kentucky the safest place for our veterans, that we protect them better from scams than anywhere else in this country, and that shows just a small thank you for their service. I'd now like to introduce Scott from AARP. Scott?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Scott Wagonist. I'm the Associate State Director for AARP Kentucky, based in Louisville, and I cover the Lexington District. It is a privilege to stand here again with the Attorney General and his hard-working staff, who last year we did a terrific outreach across faith communities across Kentucky. This year we're going to bring it home to veterans, and it's going to be tough for scammers to come after veterans. That's the goal of this of the initiative. Thank you. And the MVP, as well as Operation Protect Veterans, which is part of the AARP Fraud Watch Network. What makes this work is that we have committed partners, and we have local volunteers across the state that also help us deliver this programming. I want to introduce the Reverend Dr. Jim Thurman, who's also the state commander for NAB Vets, who I have to say is really one of the best hardworking AARP volunteers that we have here in Lexington too. So thank you again for the opportunity to be with you and to stand with veterans. The Attorney General has made it clear we are going to push this out across the state, and we're going to do some good work. Reverend, come on up.
Thank you, AG, and thank you, Scott. It's a great honor to work once again with the Attorney General's office and this initiative to work with veterans and the scams that are being perpetrated on them. Last year I worked with the Senior Scam Alert, and it was very successful across the state of Kentucky. And I thought it was really a great initiative to specifically target veterans because so many of us, I'm a Vietnam era vet, and so many of us are being subjected to scams, even to the point that you've got people on the street offering to fill out claims fraudulently for them, saying that they can get X amount of dollars and so on and so on. And a lot of that is still going on as we speak right now. I know of an incident where someone asked me, was telling me that they could file a veteran's claim for me, and if I gave them X amount of the proceeds, gave it to them up front, they were pretty much guaranteed that my claim would come through. So once again, I applaud the Attorney General's office for this initiative, and Commander John Lincolnfelter, who is the commander here at the American Legion Post.
Well, as Jim said, I'm the commander here at 313, and we're just really proud that you included us into this program, because we seem to have a lot of we seem to be the target, and even if it's not the veterans themselves, it's veterans' families. I don't know how they figure it out, but if your son or daughter has served, then you're much more likely to give and to be free with some donations. And we just want to take part and do whatever we can and help out to try to eliminate these phone calls. And we thank you. And anything we can do, just give us a call. Thank you. And I'd like to introduce Jack Mattingly. Jack, he outranks me.
No, I'm Jack Mattingly. I'm the Kentucky State Council President for Vietnam Veterans of America. And when I received the phone call from the AG office and all, I felt honored that they included us in their program, because we have seen over the last few years, it seems to be growing more and more and more of the phone calls that are coming in, especially when one of our veterans have passed away and they read it in the obituary or online on Facebook or whatever, and they turn around and call the spouse, whether it's a widow or a widower. And like it was said earlier from the Reverend, that they give you false information on how they can help you if you give them money up front. And myself, I've had one of the phone calls. They wanted me to go out and give them a green card out at Walmart and give them the numbers back, and they would help me get all the benefits that I need. The best thing you need to do to get your benefits is go to the VA. Okay. But when the AG office called us up, we jumped right on wanting to help in this program, and I feel honored, and for the Vietnam Veterans of America, that we were asked to join on this, and appreciate it. Thank you. Carl?
Thank you, Jack. I'm Carl Johnson. I'm the state commander for the Veterans of Foreign Wars in Kentucky, and we were equally excited when we were asked to join this initiative along with the AG's office. And we understand what happens to veterans. And if we can get one veteran knowledge that he will not be scammed by these scam artists that are out there, then that's what we need to do. And it's worth everything we do if we just get one. But I know we'll get more than one, because we have all joined into this program. We have set up some things for the VFW so that they can come in and talk with us and talk to my members, talk to my auxiliary, and we'll get this information out, and hopefully that I will stop some of my members from being scammed. But I appreciate the AG office inviting us, specifically Lori for coordinating with me, and I'm glad to be here. And we're gonna get on this thing, and we're gonna work all year for this. Thank you very much.
I'd like to close by talking about a real-life scam that occurred in Murray, Kentucky, that brings in both what our host and post commander, as well as Jack mentioned. We had a widow in Murray whose husband, a veteran, had just passed away. And a scammer attempted to steal money from her using all the tools and techniques that are out there that shows you why people can fall for these. She gets a call, and her caller ID, which we know we can't trust, pops up that it is the Veterans Administration. The caller says that she's entitled to certain benefits because of her husband's service, but he missed that last payment. And they need her to go to their local Walmart and buy a certain amount of gift cards and then call them back. At this point, despite the state of grief that she is in, she realized something was wrong and started asking questions. They got a little testy and she hung up. So about 10 minutes later, she gets a call in the funeral home where her husband's resting. That caller ID comes up because that obituary, like all obituaries, didn't just run in the town newspaper, it ran online. And the individual said to her, "Ma'am, were you just on the phone with the Veterans Administration? They just called us. They're going to pay for the funeral, but you have to work with them." Thankfully, she said, "What's your name?" And he gave her some type of name, and she said, "Well, Murray, Kentucky's not a big place, and I know everybody who works at that funeral home, and you're not one of them." Thankfully, she was in that position, but you can see just how terrible these con artists are, that there is nothing too low, that there is nothing that they won't do. And they are targeting veterans, we know, at a higher rate, and they are victimizing veterans at a higher rate. So it's the least that we can do as an Attorney General's office and as a Commonwealth to step up and protect our veterans. And I know we're going to protect a number of veterans. Why? Because if veterans know one thing, it's how to protect each other. And by getting this information out there, by getting it through the community, I hope that we can make Kentucky the safest place to be a veteran that is aging with dignity and that a life savings is never stolen from. So with that, we can take any questions if you got them. All right, thank you all very much.
Great job.